Namaste everyone, this is Stephen from YogaWorks, and this practice is all about strong legs. Why do we need strong legs? Of course, to look amazing. No, that's not, that's more of a byproduct in our yoga practice. But why we need strong legs is to move around with ease, to be able to sit down, to get up, to lift heavier things. That's more the legs actually working than your back or your shoulders. To play with kids, to do all these amazing things, to climb, to run, to swim, to cycle. All of this is going to help. And I find the yoga has an amazing way of strengthening legs. This is through our whole range of standing poses that we use. But we can do even better than that. We can specifically target some muscles that tend to be weak for most of us because of our modern lifestyles by just tweaking the yoga poses that we already know, by tweaking them a little bit to do more targeted work for a couple of muscles that we're going to have a look at. Another additional benefit is if you're trying to get more flexible, but that muscle is weak, then the central nervous system picks up on this and it will prevent you from going further. It will send a pain signal to that weak area that says, no, do not stretch this, because it's a liability. It might lead to risk or injury. So if we strengthen that area, then there's a signal going back to the brain or to the central nervous system that says this is now safe, and we can look at increasing that range of motion. So often strengthening work will also help to improve on your overall flexibility. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to come on hands and knees just to do a bit of outer hip work. Of course, when we sit a lot, the glutes, the hamstrings are, well, they're being sat on the whole day, so they're not very active. They're completely switched off, and they are tending to be really weak in most of us. So come onto hands and knees, and then as much as possible try to get a neutral spine, so we're not arching and we're not rounding. You can even touch the front ribs because those tend to collapse down a little bit, so try to keep that. And then align your shoulders above the wrists and your hips above your knees. And then we're going to keep this and just step the right toes back so that the right leg is straight. And then just notice if anything happened to the spine, or if that right hip lifted up or dropped down. We want it neutral, both of them, hips and spine. And then keep the belly really active as you lift that right leg up just a little bit. You don't need to go very high. Immediately you'll find the hamstring and the glute of that back leg is now active. And a couple of times keep the belly really strong. It's a subtle movement. Lift up and lower down with the back leg. So we don't want to see any spinal movement, or at least minimize it. We want to make that entire movement come from the hip, which is extending. That's the work of the hamstrings and the glutes. A couple more. 3, 2, 1. Keep the belly strong. Now bend the leg, the top leg, again without dropping the lower ribs or the belly down. And then now lift and lower. And it's a similar muscle group, of course, but slightly different angle we're getting. Lift and lower. It's a tiny movement, but surprisingly intense, especially if you keep your spine and your core engaged. And now stretch the right leg long and just move it out to the side without moving anything else. And in almost like you're wagging your tail if you were a dog. It's nice to imagine some of these images to get a better sense of what we're doing, and also not to take it too seriously. This is hard work, but if it's also fun, then you're more likely to come back to it more frequently. And then place that right leg down. Feel the right glute and hamstring compared to the left. Don't worry, we'll even it out. So again, front ribs in, belly strong, left leg back. Nothing changes around the spine. Again, nothing changes around the spine as you lift that left leg a little bit up. Don't try to go very high because then the spine will have to get involved to get that range of motion. So that's not what we're after right now. We want to focus on the strength in the hips and the legs. So with a strong core, just start to lift and lower that back leg. And then can the leg be pretty much the only thing that's moving? Maybe tiny movement in lower back and the belly, but we want to really minimize this by strengthening our core, by keeping it stable and engaged. Last 3. 2, really feel the tissues that are working here. 1, keep that, but bend the top leg so that heel goes straight up. Don't lift the knee as high as possible. Rather focus on keeping the core stable, so the hip has to work more. And then again, lift and lower. And I tend to feel that a little bit more in the hamstring and a little bit less in the glute. I don't know about you, but just feel that difference. I even feel a little bit of shaking as the leg comes down and the muscles need to work to decelerate against gravity. Last one. Straighten the left leg again and move it out to the side. Don't change anything else. And bring it back in. Out to the side and back in. So now you should feel the outer hip. That's also glute muscles mainly who are doing this. But they're hidden under the main glute muscle. So a little bit of a deeper layer. That's 3. 2, keep the weight in both hands. 1, and place that left knee down. Well done. We're going to be lying on our side. Bring the bottom knee is bent and the top leg is straight. So straighten it out and even come onto the sole of the foot as best as you can. And then come onto the left hand. Now pull that left knee up a little bit higher. So really getting to adductors, the inside of the leg that is straight. Nice. So all we're going to do is lift and lower the hips. We'll add something else. It might be quite mild to start with, but we'll add more, don't worry. Lift and lower. And really pushing against that back foot there. The right foot, push it down to keep that leg straight. Couple of times. But if you find this quite easy, then you might be ready to move on to the next one, which is quite a jump up in intensity. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting the same, but now I'm pushing that left hand down so much that that left knee lifts. I'm lifting it up, and then I'm moving that left knee forward towards my left hand and coming back down. Again, push everything down, lift that left knee up, lift it higher, and lower it down. One more like this, or you can repeat the previous version, which is more accessible, a bit less demanding, and then lower down. Let's come to the second side. I'm on the right hip. I'm moving that right knee up towards my right hand. I'm stretching the left leg out, keeping that leg as straight as possible. Now in the beginning, we're keeping that knee down and just lifting up, lowering down. Lift up, lower down. A few times, just feel which muscles are working. And we're getting into the adductors, the inner thighs, to strengthen and lengthen them at the same time through this. One more like this. You can continue with this if this is plenty for you, or if you're ready, push that right hand down, lift the right hip and the knee, and then lift a little bit higher. And then move right knee as close to that right wrist as you can to lower back down. Keep the left leg straight. Again, lift the hips, lift the knee, lift up. Knee goes forward, Split the legs apart as far as you can here. One more. Lift, hover, lower down slow, and take that in for a moment. Let's lie on our side, on the first side again, lying on the left side. This time we can be on the elbow and then bend your knees a little bit. Actually, I prefer to lie with the head on that bicep. And then the right hand can just place in front of you for a bit of balance. And then lift the right leg up, lean it a bit behind you, and then turn the toes a bit down. That's to get into the glute medius and the outer hip. You'll feel immediately what I'm talking about in a few moments. And then bend that right knee, tap down, and stretch the right leg back up. Turn it inwards. Right knee down, right leg up and back. Right knee down, lean it back. 3, 2, and last one, tap down, and now hold it here, turn the leg in a little bit more, as if the toes are trying to point down towards the mat. Lean the leg back slightly more, lift it up a little bit higher, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, swap sides. Bend the knees a bit, lie on your right arm, your bicep. Left leg lifted up, lean it back behind you, and then turn the leg in internally, as if the toes on a point down to the mat. And then bend the knee, tap down, and reach it back. A few times, tap down, lean it back behind you, straighten all the way when you reach out. A few times like that. And every time lift the leg up nicely, lean it back and turn it in. That's to get maximum effect for that strengthening of the glute medius. 3, 2, kick the heel away. 1, this time hold, lean the leg back a little bit more, lift it up a little bit higher, and then turn it in to its maximum. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Come onto your right elbow. We'll start on this side. And then lift the hips up into a modified side plank. So we're on the elbow. You can keep your left hand here for balance, or if you don't need that, left hand to left hip. We're going to lift and lower the left leg. Doesn't have to be high. 2, 3, we're only doing 50 of these. No, I'm joking. we're doing 7. I just made that up. 4, 5, 2 more. I wish I'd said 5. 6, 7. Okay. Swap around. Luckily, I've got 2 sides. So here we go. Side plank on the forearm. Legs start on top of each other, lift up, maybe use top hand for balance, or if you're feeling a bit advanced, then have your hand to your hip. When you lift the top leg and lower it. 1, 2, 3, I guess we have to do 7 on this side as well. 4, 5, you've got this. 6, and 7. Ooh, that top leg seemed to weigh a ton. All right, some sun salutations. You'll find this is a really great way to warm up quite quickly, this leg work. And you don't need a very long practice to get the feeling that you've really worked hard in a short time. So we'll modify our sun salutes to not use the hands at all, unless if you have to make this possible, then of course use your hands. Hands to heart. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale here. Let's begin. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold forward, but keep your hands on the shins somewhere. Inhale, flat back, hands to shins. Nice. Now hands to heart. Bend the right leg and stretch it back. Bend the left knee, hover, and then step back without using your hands. Lower the knee. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart. Lean forward. Step lightly with the right foot next to the left and fold. Still no hands. Inhale, all the way up. No hands down to the mat, Exhale, hands to heart. Second side, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to heart. Wait until your right foot, left leg reaches back. How softly can you land it? Lower the left knee, lift the arms. Low lunge. Hands to heart again. Lean forward. Step onto your right foot. Lift the left leg. Step forward and fold. Inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale, coming back down, straight. Inhale, flat back. Hands to heart. Weight onto the left foot. Right leg reaches back. Hover. Tap down softly. And then this time keep your knee up as you lift the arms. High lunge. Lower hands to heart. Lean forward. Push it down so much your right leg lifts. Step the right foot next to left. Fold forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, straight back down. Inhale, flat back. Hands to heart. Bend your knees. Right foot pushes down. Left leg stretches back. Tap lightly, keep your knee lifted if you can. Lift your arms, hands to heart. Lean forward, push down with the right foot. Lift up with the left foot. Step it forward, really soft. Forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice. Come to face towards the side of the mat. And come into a horse stance. So I'm going to introduce you to a few leg movements from the martial arts practice that I do, which is Kung Fu. And I find some of these are really great to start to feel how your core moves and how your body grounds down through the legs, which is one of the central principles of the Kung Fu martial arts. So here, the main thing we want to do is keep the core stable. So we're not in a back bend with the ribs flaring forward. The tailbone is down. We're sinking down a bit through the hips. The legs seem to be rooted down, screwed down to the floor. They're not going anywhere. Nice. Now learn how to pivot to the side. So turn towards your left. Bend the left knee until it's hovering just above the mat. And now you're facing towards the top of your mat. Now we're going to come back to the horse stance where we started. And we'll do the same on the other side. Turn the right toes out first, then lift the back heel, and then bend that knee until it's almost down, but not quite. The core is not changing through all of this, it's staying strong and stable. Now feel your core move through space and root down through the legs, through the feet eventually. Back to the left. Bend the right knee. Back to center. And then over to the right. Bend the left knee, hover. Back to the horse stance. To the left. Feel the feet move, but the core is strong and stable. Back to center. Turn to the back of your mat. Bend the left knee. One more time. Center. Open left foot, lift the right foot, lift the right heel rather. Bend, turn to center, open the right foot, lift the left heel, bend, come back to horse, sink down for a moment, no weight in the hands. And then slowly come up, shake the legs out. Well done. Nice. Now we'll turn our attention more to yoga practice, but we'll modify the pose again. And we'll be using the chair pose. I can just imagine your excitement when I say chair pose. Okay, here we go. Feet hip distance. Bend the knees a lot, but keep your core strong. We're not using the arms here, so there's no need to lift the arms. Maybe hands to heart could be nice. And then move your weight onto your left foot. Make the right foot lighter. And then we're going to step it forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Come up. Take a break. Take a breath. All right. Feet hip distance. Sink into it. Bend your knees. Try not to lean to the opposite side of my right leg left. So I'm trying not to lean my upper body all the way to the left. Even the hips should stay more or less stable here. Hands to heart. Lift the right foot or make it lighter. This time go off to the side. 1. Tap close. 2. Try to only move the leg. And 3. Nice. Stand up. 1 breath in. 1 breath out. You're doing great. Feet hip distance. Sink low. Chair pose. Left foot still presses down. The right leg becomes lighter. I like to come onto the toes first. This time we're going back. Right leg taps back. 1. Tap next to the left. 2. Don't move anything else if you can help it. 3. And stand up. Shake out the legs. Ooh, that left leg and hip is on fire. Exactly what we're trying to achieve in this class, isn't it? So here we go. Bend your knees, hands to heart. Guess what? We get to do all of that again, but standing on the right leg and tapping with the left foot. So a lot of weight on the right foot. Lift the left heel first. Try not to lean too much to the side. Stay nice and centered. And then the left foot will tap forward and tap back. Tap forward and tap back. Tap forward and tap back. Well done. Stand up. 1 breath as a little mini break. Just so you remember I'm a reasonable person. Also for me to catch my breath, of course, while I'm teaching this class. Okay, here we go. Bend your knees, hands to heart. Weight in the right foot without shifting too much to the right. Keep it steady. Left foot is light. Going off to the side. 1. 2. Strong core, strong right leg. 3. And stand up. 1 breath. We've got 1 more to go, which is the tapping back. Feet hip distance. Let's finish what we got ourselves into. Here we go. Bend your knees. Strong legs, especially the right is pushing down. More weight onto the right foot. Left heel lifts. Now we're tapping back. 1. Keep the torso stable. The core steady. 2. 1 more. 3. And thank goodness this was successful. Okay, the next one is we're going to start from a sprinter position. We've all seen that. The sprinters start like this. Quite a very short, low lunge with the back knee down. The back toes are tucked under. In a moment, you're going to wish that you could still do those chair poses instead of this one. Well, let's see how it goes. So there's a few steps. The first one is I'm pushing my hands down and I'm lifting the back knee up a little bit. The second part is I'm leaning that front knee forward so it's over the left toes. The third part is to lift the hands up. The fourth part, the hardest part, is without changing anything as much as possible, lift the right foot. And then the fifth part, I lost count, fourth or fifth part, is to lift up to standing. Nice, we're going back. Tap the right toes down first, and then the right knee, and then the hands. Sprinter lift-offs, or whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Back toe is stuck under, lift the back knee. So imagine you're ready for your race. What a cool starting position, isn't it? Step 2, lean the front knee. Step 3, lift the hands. 4, lift the back foot. 5, slowly coming up. You don't have to lift that front knee, but you can. And I will reverse engineer. Back down. Let's do 4. All right, step 1, lift the back knee. Ready? Imagine you're running the race of your life. Lean the front knee forward, lift the hands, lift the back foot, stand up. Yeah, you made it. And tap back down, slowly lowering. I've got one more, make it the best one yet. You're at the Olympic Games. Here we go, lift the back knee, look forward, focus. Lean the front knee forward, lift the hands, lift the back knee, the back foot, and stand up. Yes, please. And then shake it out. That was some good leg work. Let's see how we do on the other side. So it's going to be left foot back, left knee down to start. Short little lunge, fingertips down, focus. Remember the steps, I'll walk you through it. Back knee lifts, step 1. Step 2, front knee leans forward. Step 3, lift the hands. Step 4, lift that back foot. And step 5, standing up. And then reverse, coming back down slowly without crashing down. And ready for sprint 2. Lift the back knee. Lean the front knee forward, lift the hands, lift the back foot, and stand up. Sometimes it works amazingly, sometimes it's way more challenging. That's just how it goes. Step the back foot down, we've got 2 more. Here we go, back knee up, focus. Front knee forward, hands up, back foot lifts, and then take it up. Stand. Actually, the standing is not the hardest part, is it? And then reverse, coming back down. We've got 1 more. It gets harder, obviously, as you start to get a little bit fatigued, but the muscles are going to feel like caramel after this little practice. Let me know how it goes. Back heel, back knee lifts. Front knee leans forward. Lift the hands, lift the back foot. Stand up, ta-da, and you are a winner. Slowly come down onto the knees and take a breather. Okay, that's enough. Step your left foot forward, right knee back. This time go a bit of a longer lunge, but keep the back toes untucked. So we're staying on the top of that back foot. Press both hands on the front knee and then start to push the top of that foot down a lot. Push the top of that foot down. You start to feel the quad and the hip flexor are both stretching and engaging. And then push the top of the back foot down a lot more, so your knee starts to get lighter on the right side. And then you might even find that the front knee, or the back knee, lifts up, called this arrow lunge. Push down, push down, push down to the top of that back foot. If the back knee doesn't lift, don't worry about it, just imagine it getting lighter. And then really slowly, 5, we're coming down, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a breath. And let's swap legs. Left knee back. Right foot forward, untuck the back toes. So you're on the top of that back foot. You know where we're going. Both hands, I like to press down on the front knee. Makes it a little bit lighter on the legs. And then I'm pressing the top of that back foot down. The inside and the outside, you'll feel that. Press down, press down, press down. Imagine that left knee getting lighter and lighter. And then if it so happens that it feels very light, it might come off the ground altogether. So you work more towards straightening that back leg. If it doesn't lift, don't worry. You're still getting all the benefits. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was our hold. Now we're coming down. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Take a moment in the lunge. Nice. So this is where you might need 2 blocks are recommended if you're new to the one-legged squat, or if you're close to a wall, a bookshelf, your husband, anything to hold on to, then that's also going to work. We're going to have a look at the one-legged squat. So hold your blocks in 2 hands with the long end sort of hanging down, and lift the right leg up. As from here, extend the right leg forward, and then start to bend the left knee. Bend it, bend it. You'll feel you need a bit more weight to lean forward with the upper body to counter that. And once you feel, ooh, it becomes hard to hold, and just tap your blocks down and use that, a little bit further behind you is right. I usually just do this without hands. And hover here. And then to come up, you're going to have to push your hands onto the blocks to come back to standing. Let's try the second side. Lift your left knee. Extend the left leg a little bit. You don't have to straighten the knee all the way. Then bend the right knee. Bend the right knee. You can reach your blocks forward for counterbalance. Once you feel, oh, you can't hold it anymore, place the blocks behind the level of the hips and squat down. So it's a one-legged squat on the right leg. Really challenging movement. Push the hands down to lift the hips and come to standing. If you think you're good without the blocks, then you're welcome to give it a try. Otherwise, keep the blocks or hold on to something next to you. Here we go. Lift the right knee. Reach the right leg forward as you start to bend the left knee. Reach your hands forward for counterweight. I'm leaning my chest forward and slowly coming down. Maybe hovering here, or if you sat all the way down, that's not a big issue. And to come up, push through the left foot to come all the way up. Of course, the up is even harder than the down because you're working against gravity. Good work. We've got one more leg to go. See how it goes. Use your blocks, use your support as much as you have to. So left knee up, left leg straightens forward, right knee bends. Reach hands forward, reach your chest forward to slow you down. Push that right foot down, hover or use your blocks, and then push yourself up, back to standing. Who said yoga was all about flexibility? Nice, here we go. One more little thing to end our session, which is lying on our belly. So come to lie on the belly. Rest your forehead on the hands. Take a breather. And then just from here, lift the right leg a little bit. Nothing else. Don't lift it as high as you can because that will move the hips out of alignment. And then ever so slightly bend the right knee a little bit. Or a little bit more. So you're squeezing the right heel to your buttock while still lifting the right thigh off the mat. As best as you can. If you need to put that right thigh down, then so be it. We're trying to contract that right hamstring in this weaker position and then slowly place everything back down. Good, bend the left knee. No, wait, we started differently. Keep the left leg straight and then lift the left leg a little bit. Feel as much as possible your hips are still even and the lower back, it's working a bit, but it's not hyperextending. And then from here, bend the left knee as much as is available. And then feel the targeted work in the left hamstring. Muscles that often get weak because of excessive sitting and lack of movement during our days. 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Yes, we'll end with a brief shavasana. Always a good idea, especially after that hard leg work we've done. So take a moment to settle in onto your back, to arrange your arms and legs so that they can fully extend and relax. And feel this wave of relaxation wash over you. How quickly can you drop in completely and release all tension, especially around the legs and the hips. We have strengthened and activated all around those joints. And it's as important to take a moment like this to absorb the benefits of your efforts. Give your body the balance and the rest that it needs, along with the right input to get stronger and more skillful. And then take a few deeper breaths. You're of course welcome to stay a bit longer, or if it's time for you to go, then move your hands and move your feet. Bend your knees, roll over onto your side, and then push up into sitting. Place your hands together at the heart. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart center, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you for practicing. Namaste, everyone. Hope this really worked to strengthen your legs and the hips, and I'll see you here again soon. Take care.